Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here, and I'm back with another game for National Dex Premier League. This time around, I was against a very good player and a friend of mine, Vaboh. Vaboh actually played on Team US West for the World Cup Pokemon, made it very far in the playoffs, and he's also starting in the Smalgam Snake Draft in SSOU, I believe. Overall, he's a great opponent. We played in some tours before. He's beaten me more than I've beaten him, so I knew I had my hands full. Right as the bat, I kind of expected a bit more of an offensive team from him. And admittedly, I still don't have much of a grasp on team building, so my teammates and I, we were considering some stuff. I kind of wanted to use a bit of a faster Mega or something that could like prompt revenge killing sequences nicely like Ditto. Ultimately, I decided to use this team that one of my teammates made. I think it was either 64 Squares that made it, or he helped and a lot of my other teammates made it. I just want to say thanks so much to my entire team, though. They're all great, really nice people. I'm still getting to know some of you guys, but Pink Dragon Tamer, 64 Squares, Devin, etc. There's so many great guys. I'm gonna probably make a whole list to say thank you guys at the end of the season in one of these videos. But so long as I'm playing the games most weeks, just want to give that a big shout out. But anyway, since I'm not the most competent in the tier quite yet, I'm still learning. It was nice to use someone else's team that was solid. So I saw Mega Lopunny, and I thought it'd be a pretty good pick here. And looking at Vaboh's team, I definitely like what I see at Team Preview over the rest of Team Preview. Is very worrisome. He's got some very threatening Pokemon. Just to go through the rest of my team, the idea was using Combine plus Thunder, Reuniclus as win condition, but against the Garchomp, Kartana, Lander, it's a bleak prospect in this match. Unfortunately, this was a less than ideal matchup for our beloved hero Reuniclus. However, I do have Skarmory, which it has potential to do very well if it's not a mixed Garchomp or a Z-Fight variant of the Kartana or a Z-Rock variant of Lando T, but there's so many potential lures that I knew I had to be very careful, and if I didn't make the most of my Skarmory, I'd probably be in trouble. Same goes for Gliscor, which again, it can wall things like Lando or Cinderace or even Magearna or Chomp, depending on the sets, but I gotta be careful, and there's so many different options for sets. I mean, first and foremost, it can be Mega Chomp, or it could just be Megalus. It can be Z on Kartana, or it could be Scar for Band, it could be Z on Chomp, it could be Z on Lando, potentially even be Z on Magearna, although it's fairly certain it's gonna be a pivot variant of Magearna, which was at least a bit reassuring. And I knew that I'd be able to check Magearna and Rotom Wash, and maybe even a Scarf Lando with Blissey at least, so that could be helpful. And then Toxic Spikes on the Toxic can go a long way, especially if it's non-boots Cinderace. So even if I could potentially knock off the boots, although not super likely, so let's wait and see. But yeah, it's also Baneful Bunker on the pack, so I knew that could come in handy for maybe Scarf Lando to U-turn or Cinderace blocking, and then Mega Lopunny is Revenge Killer. So I knew right off the bat that Mega Lopunny was going to be my main way of making progress, especially since, keep in mind, this generation, the ability, whatchamacallit? Maybe I'm mistaking something actually. No, it's not the ability. It's got access to different moves like U-turn and close combat, which could maybe make him scared out or a certain way. I was actually just an old gen set that I always fake out high jump kick. I think it was return and quick attack. Yeah, I guess we didn't want to take defense drops. Honestly, I think that close combat would have been fine either way. The fighting was fine either way. I knew it was threatening. I wish we would have had Ice Punch in this matchup, but quick attack can go a long way in revenge killing something like a bulk up Cinderace with Sucker Punch. If I'm more like both low health or the Lander is cheap like 20-25%, etc. If it's Scarf Rotom or Chomp might have you, So yeah, I just kind of had to play my cards right, and I knew it'd be all right. But I knew it was probably going to be uphill coming in, so let's see how it goes. Again, a really good opponent, so I knew I'd have to be my best here. Right off the bat, he leads Magearna, I lead Lopunny. I'm fine. I just want to get a fake out and try and figure out what the set is. And I do 9% here with the fake out, so I'm like, okay, so that's like not like max HP, but probably some HP. And he goes for a Flare Count, does 22. So I'm like, okay, it's probably like a pivot, like an Assault Vest variant of the Magearna. I'll have to know more from rolls, but either way, I go for Toxic Spikes knowing that I'm going to try and get a Toxic Spike Poison on the Chomp and maybe the Cinderace. He goes Rotom Wash, and I'm like, okay, I'll go Blissey. I'm fine playing a little on the defensive here. So he goes Kartana. I'm like, oh, this isn't the Pokemon I really want to see. He goes, I go Skarmory. I'm like, okay, I'm actually countered here. So if he goes for Swords Dance, I could just counter a plus 2Z fighting or whatever have you. But he goes for knockoff first, which knocks off the Rocky Helmet, and that's bad because he reveals not only to be knockoff, but also knockoff with Swords Dance. And I thought if he was Swords Dance, he might have like Smart Strike for like unaware, be able to help break stall. Or he could be like Synthesis for longevity, or whatever it might be. But now Swords Dance knockoff is still a perfectly valid set. It's great for things like Skarmory, knockoff Rocky Helmets, Psychic types like Reuniclus, Lottie, etc. So really good set by his part. He goes Swords Dance, like, oh damn, if he's Z-Fight, I'm kind of screwed. But I don't have a switch in. Gliscor would die to Z-Fight plus any other move, be it Leaf Storm or knockoff, or Leaf Blade or knockoff. Reuniclus isn't taking 2. Lopunny's the only thing that runs it's not taking even 1 hit. So yeah, I kind of like, okay, maybe he's not Z-Fight. I can counter here after I go for the spike. And now he got me. He set it up really nicely. So now I'm like way behind in this game as yeah, I have 2 Farmer Hazards up. He's got the Kartana, and I'm like, okay. So I get Lopunny in here, and I double the Gliscor knowing I need to get that Toxic Orb up, and there's no way he's letting it take a high jump kick and die. He needs that Kartana. So thankfully I get that right. I get the Toxic Orb for free, so now I can potentially pivot around things nicely. He goes Landorus T and he U-turns. So I'm like, okay, that works for me. Now he goes Rotom Wash, and I just click Swords Dance trying to close the threat. But I want to get the Holiday down. I don't want to potentially take a Hydro Pump at this point. So I go Blitzing and Default. I'm like, okay, now all of my progress is negated, and he has a kill on me, so that's not great. So he goes for Volt Switch. I get Rocks, so at least I can retain some progress here. And now I go Gliscor knowing even if he's hidden Power Ice, I'm actually EV and I probably live to at this point, but he just goes for U-turn Rotom Wash. Like, okay, so at least I'm able to like kind of see what he's going for here. I go Bliss here, hoping he doesn't click Volt Switch. He goes Default. I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess. So I'm just gonna go for Rocks again. He's slowly chipping down the Blissey, I guess, but he goes Kartana this time as I go Rocks. I'm like, okay, I can play around that probably. He goes Leaf Blade, and I think I just go for the Thunder Wave to slow it down, and I get it to slow it down, which is great, because now I can go Gliscor, and he gets paralyzed here, but I did leave 2 Leaf Storms and plus 2 Earthquakes, so I believe a roll at this point. Either way, yeah, Leaf Blade, as you see there, it only does 46, so now I could Earthquake here, or maybe not. Maybe I could go for something else. No, I just go for the Earthquake, yeah. At this point, I was playing a little too conservatively. I wish I facaded there in hindsight, but it's fine. I get Pexin now, and he goes Hydro, predicting me to stay in. I get that's good for me. And he's probably scared of something like a Poison move, like Toxic, so he wanted to Volt Switch up. He didn't. He risked that, and he goes for Defog. I'm like, okay, at least I get free Poison Heal, and I go right back to Pex, and I bait another Hydro Pump. So now he's only 6 Hydro Pump PP left, so if I'm able to stall that PP out, I'm in good shape. And here he goes for Will-O-Wisp, and I'm able to come back in, and I'm at full health. So even I could live a Hydro Pump from this range. I want to go right back to Pex here. He goes Landorus T as a mid-ground. That's a good play. In hindsight here, my play was probably to Baneful Bunker, but I didn't want to reveal that because it's Cinderace, so I go for the Toxic Spike knowing I live an Earthquake comfortably. He goes right back to Rotom Wash here, and I go Rena Nicholas knowing I can live 2 Earthquakes. I'm like, okay, maybe I could set this up to be a positive sequence. He goes Defog, I get a Calm Mind up. I'm like, okay, I wish I was Focus Blast, but I'm not, so I don't just win on the spot. But he can go Kartana here, and I can go for a Side Shock. At least I do 27% here. I know he's quicker than me, though, and I don't want to take that knockoff, so I go Lopunny figuring he's going to knock off. He goes Swords Dance, though. I'm okay with that because now I'm able to threaten him. He goes Landorus T, and since I have Scrappy, right, that's the thing that he doesn't get the Intimidate off, so I do 29 with that high jump kick, and now I know I've got to make plays here because I'm well behind. So he goes U-turn, and I predict that, and I go for the high jump kick, predicting him to go to his only normal resist, and either one of Kartana or Lopunny. Sorry, Kartana or McGearn, and he goes McGearn, and I get a 62% high jump kick off there. It's amazing. He goes right back to Landorus T after that, and I get another high jump kick off, and that's a great deal of damage there. It's another 33%. Now I know Fake Out, and the Quick Attack will take it out. They can't intimidate me, so all of a sudden I'm feeling a lot better about my position, but I know I'm still not in the woods. I go Gliscor here. He calls that again on U-turn, not relenting from his game plan of trying to gain momentum and just make the most of it. He goes Chomp, like, okay, Rock's probably coming up here. Let me Swords Dance here. And now I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's a special variant. He goes for Draco and he confirms that he does 70, but after Poison Heal, I always live 2 Dracos, so that plus him losing Rocky's Rough Skin means I live, another one because I Facade there. But I Facade here again, predicting the Rotom, as I know it's probably a roll to a KO, and he's got to hit Hydro Pump, so on top of that, it's probably favorable for me when you factor in A, the chance that 2 Facades can kill, B, the chance that he can miss, C, the chance that either crit helps me, and D, the fact I know I'm quicker, so all in all, I went for the risk, and thankfully I got a crit there. I don't know his spread specifically, but I knew it had a chance, and thankfully the chance paid off, and I mean, he might have Volt Switched. He probably Hydro Pumped. Who am I kidding? The Blissey's too low. Yeah, he definitely Hydroed, but maybe we got a little lucky there, but it definitely played in our favor. All in all, I don't regret that play at all. I think between the combination of the factors, Vaboh is probably favorable to me, and sometimes you gotta take those risks, but now he goes right back to Chomp, and I'm like, okay, Blissey's just kind of useless at this point. I don't really mind Rocks being up on my side, but not his, so long as I play well, because he's probably got boots on this, and everything else is getting weakened eventually. He goes Landorus T here, as I think I just go for the Roost. Yep, healing up. So now I know I'm in the driver's seat once more. He goes HPX, but again, I know I live 2 of those. It only does 51, which is so funny. Even with leftovers, I live 2 of those. But yeah, I'm back up to 62 with Gliscor. He does 56 there. I was like, okay, I want to get Roosties up. So we Roost those up for a little bit. Thankfully, I'm all the way up to full now, and I can take him out with a +1 Facade. And now I'm scared to guard jump again, so I go to Rena Nicholas and the Draco. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now he misses a Draco here. I think he should have Earthquaked in all honesty. But I guess he was predicting me to go back to Gliscor so I recover, but he Earthquakes, it's 36, and I Thunder, predicting the Kartana, or Magearna. In hindsight, I should just Side Shock, but Side Shock never killed, so it's not a big deal, I guess. But whatever it might be, he goes back to Kartana here. So I lost, I got the turn wrong pretty much. And now he goes Swords Dances. I go for the Thunder. I connect. It's a 2-Akio, and that's cool and all. Does 45, but now knockoff will off. Thankfully, doesn't full para. So we're in a 4-3 game in favor of him now, but I can take this out easily with Mega Lopunny. Don't have to risk missing high jump kick, so I go for the return. I take that out, and now he's got to go to a Cinderace. So here comes I know I don't want to risk his Zen Headbutt, so I go to the Gliscor here. He goes Zen Headbutt, and I'm like, okay, wait. He's going to take me out with another Zen Headbutt. So what I want to do here is I want to condition him into believing that I'm just trying to pick my fodder here, and I believe that Toxapex is better fodder than Gliscor, so that I could get him with a Baneful Bunker, because from this range, return or high jump kick, they don't kill him, or at least not favored on to kill him. So therefore, what I want to do is with Baneful Bunker Poison, I clinch the win. So I go to Toxapex here, and he reveals something that I didn't anticipate. As in Headbutt, and he reveals Bulk Up. And see, on this team, I was so sure it'd be U-turn, because he's got, Volt, Switch, Momentum here and here, and basically just Momentum into Kartana. And I feel like I really would see this set more Bulk Up Cinderace with something like Spikes. But honestly, and I talked to Shazam, or Chasm, I'm not really sure to pronounce his name, I'm sorry about that, buddy, but the guy who built Vaboh's team, and he actually did a great lot of using Bulk Up Cinderace. Basically, he just wanted to stack some nice win conditions, and Kartana being the great lore it is, Mega Garchomp being great at forcing up Stealth Rock, and made him so that he had a nice ample support. And honestly, I think Vaboh outplayed me here. Because here's what happens. I go for Baneful Bunker trying to bait that thing before, and it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense, but he goes for Bulk Up. And so now we need to hit a second Baneful Bunker to win the game. And thank goodness I do in fact get that second Baneful Bunker in. He's poisoned, and I should be fine here anyway with the combination of, fake outs and whatnot. But between the roll/trip before, be it with the Rotom W sequence, I don't think Rotom Watch would have done anything in this endgame, because keep in mind he doesn't have Pain Split. But between that and this, it was a game that definitely favored him, even if it was slightly. Keep in mind that Protect and Baneful Bunker aren't 50-50 just anymore. See, that's why I'm saying it favored him. Even if the chance of missing that headbutt, it still favored him. And I feel bad, so I fired off Gliscor here. I'm like, okay, that's chill with me. He's ends, and now I go back to Pex. I just Baneful Bunker, and I'm fine with him bulking up again, because he's taking poison to the point where he's gonna be at 50% no matter what when he kills me. And the combination of fake out and return, should do it. But I get a double protect again, just why not? Again, there's no point in not risking this, and now he's down below 50, and yeah, now I'm in the clear for sure. I couldn't lose like a crit Sucker Punch or anything, because fake out and the quick attack killed him out. And yeah, no, I got really lucky here. Vaboh was probably a better player in this game, and definitely my hat's off to him. Overall, I'm not really upset with how I played. I didn't consider Bulk Up on Cinderace too much, because I thought it would be a different set. And sometimes when you're playing good opponents and rough matchups, you got to make those plays. Overall, I think I played just okay. Not super well or super great. But my opponent went above and beyond, letting him with the Bulk Up Cinderace, and his team was really well built. I like my team too. But yeah, a really tight game where it was definitely going to be close either way, but without luck, I would have lost, and due to a double Baneful Bunker, I was able to win. So yeah, thank God for Toxapex, I suppose, and good game. I hope you guys enjoyed, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want more National Dex action. Again, I personally prefer the OU tier. I feel like the balance of bulky teams in National Dex yet to be fully explored, and I worry what's going to happen once they are. But at the same time, I think there's still a lot of redeeming qualities about National Dex. It's a fun tier. As you see by teams like Vaboh's, there's a ton of cool offensive Pokemon to use, and I think that we could all agree that there's so many fun metagames and formats to try out right now, so definitely, enjoy them. If you prefer National Dex, play National Dex, and let me know your thoughts on National Dex below. If not, let me know your thoughts on OU in those videos, and thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day. Alright guys, peace out.